Hey fam, really excited for our next conversation here with Andy, who always has the coolest astronauts on the floor over at the VAST booth. Big fan, space fan over here. It's always easy to identify you guys. How are you doing today, Andy?
I'm great. How are you today?
I'm doing excellent, absolutely excellent. Thanks for coming to hang. Talk to us just a little bit about the Vulture VAST partnership. I know you guys have been homies for a long time.
Yeah, actually, so we've been partnering for quite a number of years, but the way that we initially started out was actually Vulture is one of the first customers that use one of our new platforms. And so our engineering team, Vulture's engineering team, worked pretty tirelessly to sort of make sure that everything was up and running and good to go. And since then, well, we've seen expansion, we've seen more adoption, and we're happy to help Vulture kind of expose us to their customers, but then also just offer their own value to customers, because we basically want to take infrastructure and make it invisible to users so they don't have to think about it anymore.
I mean, I think everybody who's trying to build something right now would love to have their infrastructure be invisible and smooth and seamless.
I mean, I would.
What are some of the, what is that? So if infrastructure is invisible, what are some of the benefits to these companies?
Well, so ultimately, what we found, especially with model building companies, the thing that matters the most to them is consistency and stability.
Yeah.
Because if it's stable and consistent, then it's literally invisible. They don't know that it's there. It just works. So that's the first place. But sometimes people like to dig in and turn the knobs and see what's happening. And so we expose a lot of information about what's happening on the system so that Vulture and people who are building a control plane layer who can then expose those metrics up or use them for their own purposes. So the system exposes a lot of information about what's happening so that you can make better decisions on how to use it.
Yeah, absolutely. Better decisions. What types of decisions or better decisions do you hope that AI and technology helps you in your personal life?
Like so that I don't have to get out of bed and all of my work is done, that kind of thing? Yeah, so lately, that's kind of important to me. Actually, you know, the other thing I started working on, right? So I use Gen AI a lot for personal stuff, including I made a little personal assistant app or whatever for myself. I don't make stuff for other people because it doesn't work well enough. But one of the things I like to do is ride my bike. And so a lot of times I'll ride my bike and I have the best ideas when I'm not actually sitting at a keyboard.
Yeah.
And so being able to take an idea, record it as a voice note and have it automatically transcribed and turned into something I can action on later, or ideally that someone else can action on later. That's what I like to do.
Love that.
Yeah.
Built-in delegation too.
Yeah.
It's the right person on the team to delegate.
Then I tend to just ride my bike, and that's my day job.
Yeah.
Just do whatever I want. Yeah.
How do you hope that AI, well, maybe you just hope it gives you more time to do this. Do you see cool applications of cycling in AI?
I haven't done that much digging. I do like to separate certain things. So while I might come up with ideas when I'm riding my bike, I'm not sitting there trying to imagine how to optimize things. I'm just trying to take my head out at work for a little while, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, Vulture is a startup, VAST is a startup. We work really hard. Sometimes you need to take a break a little bit. So that's my way of getting a break. But sometimes when you take a break, you get the best ideas. So
I know exactly what you mean. Well, your brain can finally rest, and you're not stressed in the normal day-to-day demandy way. And it's a totally different. I couldn't agree with that. I love when those moments of creativity happen, but it almost kind of makes me sad when I'm like, darn it, I have to take a note for work right now.
well, yes, I think ultimately the most valuable asset in terms of computing and AI are the ideas that people come up with. When I talk to all of our customers, and some of them whom are also Vulture customers, I find that oftentimes their bottleneck isn't technology, it's people. Finding good people, finding people who understand how to elevate their ideas and make them heard. Like, that's a very important thing.
Well, that's a very important thing. What ideas do you wish were more heard in the world?
Well, there's a lot of things happening in the world right now that aren't ideal.
Yeah.
So I think the idea that we don't have to do crazy things, like drop bombs on nations, that kind of thing. But I'm not going to get into that because that's a lot of soup to dig into. I think ultimately what I see and hope for in terms of AI is that it can equalize access to things that people need. A lot of the world is in a place where there's disparity between who has and who doesn't have. And I think AI has the potential to equalize a lot of that.
I think it does. I know that's going to be one of my favorite quotes of the whole show. Thank you for that, Annie. That was actually really pleasant and wonderful. Last question for you. What would be your advice to someone who's maybe feeling a little bit overwhelmed by all the information out there or just wants to get started?
Well, So me personally, I also fall into that camp sometimes. There's a tendency, at least in my mind, to feel like I'm always falling behind when it comes to the latest thing, the latest model, the latest use case, the latest MCP tool, whatever it is. The good news is that you can step in, and this is where AI is becoming very powerful. You can step in without knowing the technology and be productive pretty quickly as long as you have good ideas. So if you feel like you're getting overwhelmed, go for a bike ride, go for a jog, do something, come up with an idea, and then let AI do as much of the work as it can.
I think that's a really good point. Start with your curiosity, your passion, your idea. And frankly, you can just ask help. You can ask a GPT for help, or even communities, a lot of great online communities would say, oh yeah, I want to build this. They'll really tell you that the internet is helpful. It's not all termed out there.
Definitely.
Andy, this has been super awesome. You've got great advice, great lens on the world, and hopefully we're all getting to spend more time outdoors on our bikes or whatever.
We should. Let's go outside right now.
I know, and it's so nice outside now.
I know, it's amazing.
Look forward to chatting with you again sometime.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, cheers, and thank all of you. Hopefully you get to get on your bike today or whatever it is that makes you happy outside. Savannah Peterson here with Equalizer for our Creator Series. Thanks for coming to learn with us.